5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are live at Julian David Live. We are here at the Walmart Resort in beautiful, sunny San Diego. And our first guest, he's a writer, he's an actor, model, and he's here tonight to share his new book, The Book of Love by Jesus Christ. Let's welcome and big round of applause to Brother Dan!
Alright, buddy.
Welcome.
What's up, my friend? I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm happy for you to come in here today.
Yeah, great to see you. And great to be here with all of you.
I love to have positive, loving, and awesome people like yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So, we know each other for quite a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
For those that know us, we met back in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what I wanted to share with everyone, how do you gone from like partying back in the day in Denver, like going to the bars, there's this bar called Spill where we met,
Right.
having a good time, to writing a book about love. What inspired you for doing that?
Yeah, so, yeah, we have known each other for a long time. And thank you all for being a part of this great show. I'm so excited to be on Julian David Live. So, we met about 8-10 years ago now, and there was this beautiful, not beautiful bar called Spill in Denver, Colorado, and that was a point in time in my life where I was miserable. I was out drinking, partying, doing drugs, just whatever I could do to escape, because I didn't like what I did for work, didn't like where I lived, didn't have anything that I was passionate about. And when I look back now, I realize that I've been on a path to love this whole time, which means to love more and more and more, which my most recent revelation, which happened probably 3 or 4 months ago when I was in Sedona,
Right.
that before I wrote the Book of Love, I realized that even right now, all of us could just pause for 10 seconds here. 10-second pause. Take a breath. You might close your eyes, you might have them open, whatever, but take just a simple breath. You feel peace. Take another breath. You feel peace and love. You clear your mind. And I just realized if I can do that for 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 10 minutes through meditation,
Right.
I can do that all the time. I'm supposed to do that all the time. And all these years of, when I went from partying and all that stuff, but then moved from my parents' basement in Denver when I knew you.
Yeah, so how do you end up in San Diego?
Yeah, so...
For those that...
so I was in my parents' basement in Denver, Colorado, no car. One of my other buddies he was living in Vegas. He's like, just move to Vegas and we'll figure it out. And I jumped into a car with his friend. I didn't have a car or a place to stay, because my friend was staying with his baby's mama's mama, and that's exactly it. But I moved to Vegas, was there for about 4 months, couch surfing, which is really, I was homeless, but it's not like I was living completely on the streets, but it's like finding shelter. It's terrible. But then my sister, that's the first message that I got in my mind, was there, because I came up with this seminar. It was given to me. It's called Let Your Light Shine, Finding the Superstar Inside of You. That was something that was given to me in Vegas. It's like a workbook workshop. So I got that in Vegas, but then I moved to San Diego because my younger sister was having her baby. And this was like 8 years ago, because now he's like a big kid and he's my best friend. But I remember seeing him when he was 3 months old in his crib. And this is one of the first things that connected me to the concept, which is this book, The Book of Love, which is all about the idea that love is not something that we need to learn. Love is something that we are. We are love. And I remember seeing little Sova in his crib, and you know him,
Yeah,
It's a great little
great.
video.
I've seen the videos that you guys actually had though.
Oh yeah, the positive energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
on my Facebook page, like 6 years ago, one of those Facebook videos popped up, a memory, and we were in the car together, and we were doing like positive energy affirmations, me and the little guy in the back seat. So check out my Facebook page for that. But I just remember he got up from a nap. He's in his diaper with his beautiful bald head, and he just got up from a nap, and we're like, and he's just looking around at the world with this smile. And I just know, I remember looking at him and thinking, he doesn't have a reason to smile. He's just smiling.
Right.
Like as adults and in life, a lot of times we go through life and we look for these reasons to be happy, or reasons to be at peace, or reasons to be loving, or just reasons to have joy. He was just joying for his existence. That's how he was when he was really little. And then life teaches us all these patterns and behaviors and our environment. If you grew up with anyone, like a family who the parents argue a ton, we learn to be mad. We're not mad in our hearts and in our soul, in our divinity. We're cool, we're good, we're chilling.
So I read the book,
Yeah.
and what basically like really got me to understand about the book is that it's such a wonderful book that focuses about love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what made you think that that was the only focus on this book?
Well, the book, I went through the process of writing it, but this really is a book. And to some people this might sound unbelievable, but it's actually the truth. I'll tell you this story. So I got to San Diego, life starts getting better and better. I'm living at my sister's place, but then, short version of the story, I started getting money together, started acting, started modeling, got in the union in acting, started making moves, got my own place in La Jolla, all this stuff. And then March happens in the world, things shifted, changes. I go to Sedona. I'm in Sedona for a couple weeks, and I just kept adding weeks because the vibration, the energy, the people, everyone was there. Everyone that's there was at peace, and for the most part. There wasn't a general living in fear that is what has happened to society. Having many reasons outside of us to be afraid of each other, afraid of some invisible thing, afraid, but that's all in the mind. And I'm just learning so many things that I can share now because I'm learning and I'm wanting to master these things because that's the goal, to be masterful at being loving, being in control of my internal state. But I'm in Sedona and I keep adding weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and I stayed there for a couple months, but there was a week that it didn't line up for me to add a week the way I usually do.
Right.
So I went to this place called Angel Valley and stayed there one night. And then the next night, I went to this labyrinth walk, which is like a spiritual walk. They have a sound bath. You walk through this maze. And what I learned is that it resets your right and left hemisphere. It's like it hits a reset switch in your consciousness.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what it was doing, but I met some girls there. Then the next morning, there's a note on my door that these girls want to meet with me. They're like, we want to hang out. So I hang out with them that night.
Right.
And we're hanging out, talking, just having a good time, campfire, all that sort of stuff. But one of the girls says, I heard about a book called The Book of Love by Jesus. And I say, I want that book. That sounds amazing. I've got many favorite things, but some of my top favorite, God, Jesus, angels, right there. And then a bunch of other stuff are favorites, but those are like ultimate favorites. So I was like, I want that book. I said, well, tell me about the book. She said, well, I heard that it got either destroyed or removed from the Alexandria Library.
Yeah.
Some ancient story. And I said, well, how can I get it? And she's like, I don't know where you can get it now. I've just heard of it. And she says, if you want it, you'll find it. And I remember thinking, Jesus, I want that book. Like, God, I want that book. How am I going to get the book? So the next morning, I'm in my cabin, and I'm getting my day going. I probably went for a run, and maybe I went to swim in the cold creek or did something like that, but my vibration was really good. And then I get this little message in my mind, just a little. It's very soft, subtle, and I've only had this happen a few times in my life in Sedona. But this little voice says, "The Book of Love by Jesus the Christ, channeled by Daniel PROK. My beloved, it is with great love that I share these ideas with you." And it just starts going. I don't know if I'm getting a huge manuscript or what. I was like, I gotta record this. So I pull out my microphone, record it, and that was like a 40-minute consciousness stream.
Right.
And I was like, and I knew it was good. I didn't really think about it while it was coming through me because I gotta just let these words pop in and not let my mind get in the way. Gotta stay open. And then a few minutes later, The Book of Love by Jesus the Christ, channeled by Daniel PROK, chapter 2. Okay, I gotta sit down and do that. So I do the first 2 chapters, and then it's late in the day, and I don't know if I'm getting a whole Bible, like a 1,000-page manuscript, or just some short little book or what. Right. So I stay another night and in Angel Valley. And then the next morning I get up, clear my mind, chapter 3 comes. Then the next one, final words. And I was like, okay, so it's not that long. And then I took the audio version, I typed it out, started formatting it, organizing it, and it's really, with just an exception of a few words, it's all what came through me. I didn't do anything to change any meanings or anything. I just kept it pure, and I added, I formatted it. I added the gold angel wings and heart because I'm like, that represents love and the angels and the heavenly host and God and like pure beauty.
That's what he's describing.
Yeah, so I found that image and got it tweaked a little bit and had this. I wanted the book to look pristine, majestic, regal, like God's glory. I wanted it to look that way because that's what the message is. It's so pure and about love, and it really, the main thing is that we are love. You are love. Even the people in the world that we are like, are not acting loving. They are not doing, but underneath, we are God's love. But what happened is we were born in an environment that our mind got conditioned for anger, fear, doubt, worry, sadness, to have skewed perceptions that are unloving. God's love is within everything. So here's the keynote. And I'm learning these things, so now I'm able to share them. When we live in our heart, when we live in our soul, when we live in our divinity, when we live in our Christ consciousness, God within us, our God self, when we live deeper into our core, that's where it's pure love, pure peace, pure joy, pure bliss, pure. And then we need to flood our mind with love, flood our bodies with love, flood our world with love. Send that out from our core and recondition the mind. The mind is mostly the part that's in the way.
Well, for those that actually like going through, what's going on with the world right now.
Yeah.
And we get thrown in situations where like, yes, we want to love, but there's sometimes in life there's situations that make you not be loving.
Yeah.
So how do we overcome those? So how do you stay in that state of being?
Well, this it takes practice. It takes practice.
I'm sure you get times where people actually, they're not very loving to you. So at some point.
Sometimes they're not.
And
sometimes those people are your closest people, the family members that you grew up with, your parents or siblings, or maybe your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend. All that stuff could be the person that triggers us. And this goes into my life coaching work. The Book of Love will hit on some of these topics, and then there's also, I did an exercise for myself a while back, which was write, and you all could do this. It's pretty simple, but it's super powerful. What negative emotions do I feel consistently? Ask yourself that question. So you figure out what negative emotions do I feel once in a while. Then you say, what triggers these? Because that's the mind getting triggered by an event outside of us, a circumstance. Our mind, a person, a place, something, our finances, anything. So our mind gets triggered by this, and then we feel the negative emotion. So if we say, what are my negative emotions I feel consistently? And what triggers them? Then you have a whole list. Like, I feel sad, depressed, angry, fearful. I feel some of these things sometimes. Oh, what triggers my frustration? Oh, when I talk to this family member. What triggers my fear? Oh, this thing going on in the world. What triggered? So then you have a list. And then what I would have to do is, I knew what was coming. It's like playing a video game where after you play whatever games are popular these days, who knows? But I don't play that many video games. But, you know, if you're ever playing a video game, after you play a few levels, you kind of know what's coming if you go through that level again.
Right.
We all know, you all know, hey, when I talk to my mom or my dad, my mind gets triggered. When I watch the news, my mind gets triggered. When I look at this situation, these people, places, my mind gets triggered. So if we know that, then we're like, okay, now I know what's going at me. And I just practice breathing into my heart. That's the thing. So I would get on the phone with that person who triggers me, and this has all happened to transform in the last 4, 5, 6 months in Sedona. On the phone, talking to this certain person, they start complaining, bitching about the other person that's also in my family, and I was just like, let me breathe in my heart, let me breathe in my heart, stay in my heart, stay in my heart, because the mind wanted to go, that's not right, I don't agree, this BS, whatever, and start an argument. That I was like, let me just breathe into my heart and let this thing pass, because it's not that big a deal, and I don't need to get caught up in it. And so that, when we do that, it keeps our vibration high. Because if we're not getting triggered, what if we're getting triggered once a day, twice a day? What if we're really getting triggered hundreds of times a day? We get on Facebook, or we get on something, and we see a post, and we go, oh, I don't agree with that political thing. I'm mad. I'm upset. And where vibration goes from love, joy, peace, everything's fine, and we drop, dip, 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 dip. What if we control the mind? And you know what happens when we control the mind and we're living more in our heart and our divinity and our soul? The mind gets to relax. I'm living this now. This is so awesome. It took me 10 years, though, to go from Denver, partying, low vibe, going on that roller coaster of feeling good when I drink, but then depressed, feeling good, depressed, feeling good, depressed. And now I live a really clean life, but now it's like when I let my mind, when I control it so it doesn't get triggered, then we can actually heal our mind. That's what I feel is happening. Heal our mind, flood our minds with love. And I've got some meditations on my YouTube channel that are about being God's infinite love, flooding your mind with love. Like, really, you can sit there through meditation and get that energy flowing through all your energy centers, through your heart, through your mind, through your body, through your world around you, sending that in and out, and then realize, well, if I can do that through meditation, I can do that while I'm walking around talking to people. I can do that more and more. I've even gotten to the point where I'll be out at the beach and I was like, well, let me program my physical senses to love. I should see with love. When I hear things, I can hear with love. I can touch things with love. I can perceive the world around me with love.
Right.
You know, so I'm just going through this reconditioning of my physical body, mind, physical senses, because to me, that's the main part that's gone this way.
Here's another thing that, a lot of us know you by actor, model.
Yeah.
How you got into the life coaching? I'm sure some of these viewers, they want to know, like, how you went about, like, doing the acting, the modeling.
Yeah.
But what got you into becoming a life coach?
I sensed I wanted to help people, and when I went from my parents' basement to Vegas, 2 of my buddies were in.
So you're saying you were in your parents' basement and then you went to Vegas?
Yeah, when I was in my parents' basement before I left town, and then I moved to Vegas for 4 months. And then while I was there, 2 of my friends were having a situation in the kitchen that we were at, and one of my friends was crying and mad about his ex-wife. Big burly dude, but he was pissed and sad and all this stuff. And I didn't know anything about the situation at all because I walked in on it. But my other friend says to him, this isn't about your ex-wife or anything outside of you. You got to love yourself. And it's like, the energy just went, and I was like, that's it. You got to love yourself completely. So I went to where we were staying and I wrote out the handbook for the seminar, which is my life coaching channel now, or business. And it said, let your light shine, finding the superstar inside of you. And I'm just typing 3 steps: love yourself completely, clear negative thought patterns and energy, expand your love and lighten your power, and get a vision for your life. So it started there, and then when I moved to San Diego, I did a little seminar for my acting class and another seminar for used to be the School of Healing Arts in Pacific Beach. Then I have life coaching clients. You can go to my website. It's letyourlightshinelifecoaching.com. Okay. And there's meditations on there. You can contact me for personal coaching to speak publicly to your group or organization, anything. But I've been on a high vibe, like going high vibe. And that's how we get along, because we're like high vibe, good energy, big energy, positive energy. I've been on that track. And then I feel like I met the book because I did the work to get to be more loving. And I love Jesus and God and angels so much, and at some point, this is just my sense, Jesus was like, you reached where I operate all the time. And I feel like God and Jesus, they operate in everything, but you did the work to be loving, and you got, basically, if he's like operating in some really good vibe zone, because he is, and then I got myself more loving, more peaceful, more joyful, more, over 10 years, over my whole life. And then he's like, oh, you're peaceful, joyful, you're controlling your mind, you're not getting triggered, you're clearer, I can actually flow through you. And that's just what it is. That's just what I've experienced, the Book of Love. It's on Amazon right now. I got it published pretty quick. It took me like 3 weeks to get it.
So share with our audience where they can get the book.
Yeah.
Is it an audiobook yet? Or is it coming?
The audiobook is coming. I got it on Amazon as a paperback and on Amazon Kindle for right now. You can get it both places. Just look up the Book of Love, the Words of Jesus Christ. And you can look up Daniel PROK as the author, so that's what you want to search for. But I'd love for you to get it, for you to message me and tell me how much you love it, and get it for Christmas presents or whatever.
Christmas present for those, Christmas around the corner. So.
It is, and I'm happy and honored and privileged to even, and it's unbelievable. Let me just say, it's kind of unbelievable to me. It makes sense to me from the life path that I've been on, looking back, but it's also like a book coming through me from Jesus. When you read the words, I'm good. I can come up with some great stuff. The words are so divinely stated and so meant to help you tap into your true self, your God self, the love of God within you, the love of Christ within you. It's always there. But we just got programmed with so much stuff outside of us in a world that looks and we perceive as dangerous or chaotic or all these things. Those are all just perceptions that we learned that we can unlearn. And it's a beautiful thing, because then you have all your power. When we live in our love and peace and joy, and we're like in the eye of the hurricane. The hurricane's out there. You're just in the eye of the hurricane. You're peaceful, you're joyful, you're loving. Your internal state, which is under your control and my control, we control that. But we somehow, it's like an easier said than done sort of thing, but it's beautiful, because as you get there more and more and more, man, your life is going to just be so much better. So it's a beautiful thing, the Book of Love. I
just wanted to thank you for coming to the show tonight.
Yeah. And thank you for thinking of me.
That has ideas to bring in for us, for Daniel, for myself, because we're not keep doing this.
Yes.
We want to invite actors, models, anyone that wants to share a positive message to come in and share with all of us, you the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find me on Instagram. Look up I Love Brother Dan, My Facebook page is Dan PROK. YouTube channel, look up Daniel PROK on YouTube. Look up Let Your Light Shine. And what else? LetYourLightShineLifeCoaching.com. So just connect with me however you can. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. I'm here to share love with the world. And this guy's awesome. So yeah, all you awesome, inspiring people who might have a great story. It'd be great to be on the show.
With updates through my Instagram page. I'm under Julian David Official. And then also you can find me on Facebook. And stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you next time.
Yeah! Julian David Live, everyone!